My Grape 5s just came in and you know I had to double up on these. So I'm going to be giving you guys an in-depth look at the shoe, giving you guys my first thoughts and impressions and comparing these to some previous pairs from the past. So let's go ahead and crack these things open. Now starting with the box, as you can see, classic to your OG style Air Jordan 5 box. And we've been seeing this for a long time now. But you got your black hinge lid right here with your red Jumpman on the top of the lid. And another key hit when it comes to these shoes with the Nike Air that Jordan brand has been doing a great job on is adding that Nike Air branding here on the lid, on the front and the back end of the lid right there. Now on the bottom half of the box, you're gonna see that all over cement print, classic to the Air Jordan 4 as well. And on the size tag, it reads Air Jordan 5 Retro OG White New Emerald Grape Ice. Size 13, just for me. And retail on these things was 215 bucks. Now they have done a slight hike in retail prices, $5 or $10 on shoes. So these could have been 210, and then after they switched prices, that's what made them 215. At the end of the day, that's what they're going for. Now when it comes to bigger sizes, they have been selling out a lot faster. I have seen smaller sizes available in local stores and online, but a lot of the retailers online, you did see a lot of pairs selling out initially. Now lifting open the lid of the box, you're gonna notice there's an all over black paper, or you wanna say plastic paper, whatever you like to call that. And then peeling that back, you're gonna have a cardboard insert in the middle, and then you got the shoe. Oh, you got the shoe. Now before we go over all the beautiful details of this shoe, you know we gotta talk about the history first. Back in 1990, the Air Jordan 5 released in 4 original colorways. You had the black metallic, the fire red with the 3M tongue and the black midsole, also the fire red with the black tongue and the red midsole, and then you had the Grape 5. Now the Grape 5 in particular was another outlier when we seen different colors like this. For example, with the original set of Air Jordan 3s, you had an outlier with the true blues, or with the Air Jordan 4s, you had an outlier with the military blue. So instead of doing a blue on the Air Jordan 5, they decided to go with the purple instead. And from 1990 to now, it has been a hit in a lot of people's eyes. So back in 1990, I'm sure you guys remember all the commercials that were happening with Spike Lee and etc. But we can't forget to mention the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air TV show, and especially him wearing the Air Jordan 5s in particular, and the grapes to be specific. This is a very iconic photo, and still to this day, people replicate this when it comes to costumes or you name it. I feel like Will Smith alone did his thing when it comes to cementing the Grape 5s in the sneaker culture. After the original release, it took a long time for us to see the Grape 5 to finally retro to the streets, and that was back in 2006. But this time it had a whole new cut when it comes to the overall shape of the shoe, and especially the big thing on the back end, the Jumpman. But at the time, it did not matter. I vividly remember collecting this shoe back in the day and having multiple pairs that I rocked over the years, and I'm sure a lot of you can attest to it if you were collecting back then in 2006. Definitely a good time to be a sneakerhead. After that, we saw a ton of Fusion models, and they brought back OG colorways on the Air Force One Fusions as well, and you know they had to do the Grape 5s. We'll just leave it at that and take it to the next shoe. 2013 rolled around, and Jordan brand was in their bag of creating some of the worst versions of all the models that they could possibly create, and that was during this era when we saw the Grape 5 release again. Quality was terrible, shape was terrible, and not just this shoe, a ton of other retros that released during this era, a lot of them were pretty garbage. Also in 2013, Jordan brand tried to get a little creative, so they dropped the black Grape 5s as well, and those in particular people liked a lot more. Then in 2015, we saw the pre-Grapes, which was kind of the end of the era of the bad shoes being made when it comes to the shape, the quality, and the materials and everything, but at the same time, they flew underneath the radar and kind of people just didn't really care about those. And then in 2018, we finally saw the new era, the new cuts, the better materials, and that's when we got the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Air Jordan 5. Now that's a shoe that I currently do not have in my collection, but one that I wouldn't mind adding. I just couldn't see the price point and everything like that. Also, that's because I had this pair that came out at the same time, and this is the 2018 Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Friends and Family Grape Jordan 5s as well. They made these specifically for Will Smith's birthday, and there were only about 50 pairs in existence, and I was lucky to be able to get a pair in my size, so it kind of made it a little bit harder for me to want to go after the other pairs after I had finally added these to my collection. After that, in 2020, we got the Grape alternate Air Jordan 5s, something that a lot of people kind of appreciated, but at the same time flew underneath the radar as well, and I feel like you can still get for a really good price these days. And to continue with the Grape treatment as well, just like how we saw the What the Air Jordan 4s, how they added all the OG colorways, they decided to do that same thing with the top 3 Air Jordan 5s and added the Grape tongue on those as well. Oh, and we can't forget to mention the black Grape Golf lows. Now 5 years later, we are finally seeing the Air Jordan 5 in the Grape colorway with the Nike Air and shoelaces, and essentially similar to the original from 1990. So this right here is an anniversary type sneaker when it comes to what, 35 years now since then. And then also, not to mention the fact, this is actually the first one that has been done properly and correctly with the correct shape, and again, having shoelaces since the original. So we've been seeing a lot of this with the Jordan Brand 40th year anniversary with other models. I've talked about that in the past. So for these, that's something that makes me very excited because we're finally getting exactly what we wanted, how it was similar to the OG. Oh yeah, and if you didn't know by now, my name is DJ and this is the DNA Show. Now, starting with the outsole of the shoe, you're gonna notice it's gonna be classic to your OG Air Jordan 5, and what I mean by that is you're gonna see your Nike branding here on the rubber in the middle of the foot, and then again, same thing here, translucent icy blue outsoles, and then your Jordan Jumpman logo here in that emerald green with the black rubber around the toe. Now going up to the midsole, same thing with the color blocking here. You're gonna have your black on the top end and on the back half, and that's gonna wrap into the middle of the foot right here, and that's gonna be on the top end as well. And then on the bottom end of the shoe, you're gonna see that purple wrapping throughout there with your emerald green here on the front end with the shark teeth and the small tooth here on the inside of the foot. This is gonna be classic to the OG color blocking, which again, we're happy about because I hate when they make it so close and then switch up the tweaks on the color blocking and alternate something. You're like, bro, you had it. Why didn't you just keep it the same? So Jordan Brand, yes. Golf clap in the comment section for them. Now taking it to the upper, you're gonna notice that this is actually a lot nicer of a material compared to the previous 2013 retro. Potentially one of the greatest Air Jordan 5s that have been created when it comes to the GR releases and the cuts and the shapes and the materials. And the reason why I say that is, if you look at the fire red Air Jordan 5, these came out during the 2020 time, I would say something around then. They were getting back in their bag of creating that OG style and that OG shape. And we're definitely excited to see this come about. And even when you look at these side by side, you can see a drastic difference. Now I understand when it comes to production and previous pairs back in the 90s, you can see how there were slight variations between different colorways as well during that time, or different factories. I understand that element as well. But I feel like overall, for the consumer and everything like that, they're definitely going to gravitate more to this Grape Air Jordan 5 compared to the Fire Red Air Jordan 5. Again, we're both going to be excited about the Nike Air on the back end and all the other elements to the shoe, but that's something I definitely want you guys to take note as well when it comes to overall shape, and again, the toe, especially the toe down and how it looks when it's on your foot. Now besides that, these come standard with a pair of all white flat laces. You're going to have your translucent net right here, and then you're going to have that mesh behind it in all white as well, and it's going to be the same thing on the tongue, the side panel, on the inside and the outside of the foot. And then the same thing when it comes to lace holes, classic to the OG. You're gonna have that plastic piece here on the front, the middle, and the top end of the foot with the 4 holes on all different areas. And another thing that I love when it comes to these, you got that classic OG bib right here. I always call it the binky or whatever you like to call it, but the lace lock, that's gonna be all translucent, and you have your, again, small detail, but the Nike branding here, just like on the outsole. Now going up to the tongue, you're gonna notice you have more of that nylon like material, similar to the black tongue Air Jordan 5s as well, which, ooh, I cannot wait for those to retro, which is gonna be very, very soon. And then we'll do a ranking video, which is also gonna be exciting because I've been waiting so long to see the OG cuts come back. Besides that, you're gonna notice you're gonna have your emerald green Jumpman logo in the center of the tongue stitched there. And on the back end of the tongue, same thing with that color. And then your classic Air Jordan 5 tongue hit here with the white patch and the Air Jordan branding upside down with the purple text. Looking at the collar of the shoe, you're gonna notice it's gonna be covered in an all black felt like material. And when it comes to the insoles, it's gonna be all polyurethane, which is something that, again, us sneakerheads are very excited and appreciative of, because this is something that we don't get too often, but we are definitely starting to see it more often, especially on the OG. So again, Jordan Brand, golf clap in the comment section for that. Now again, I'm still gonna make my debate here. We need the retro card. Bring back the retro card. Bring back the retro card. Bring back the retro card. Can I get a chant in the comment section? Bring back the retro card. Bring back the retro. We need the retro card, bro. I feel like this is a mix with OG, and I know it didn't have a retro card then, but because it's a retro, it gives, you know what I'm saying? Continuing on with the insole, you'll notice on the sock liner right here, it's gonna have that all over emerald green with the purple Nike Air branding on the text there. And then going to the back end of the shoe around the heel, one of the hits that we have been waiting for so long, for the shoe to be done properly and correctly and all the different stuff without people having to punch the holes in the shoes from the NRG pair to now. This is so exciting. We got the Nike Air on the Grape Air Jordan 5s. Again, instant double up, no matter what. I immediately needed to have a couple pairs. I even copped a baby pair just because I just was so excited about this, because Bruh, I love the Grape 5s. It's one of my favorite Jordan 5s out there. And to see this, oh yeah, definitely rocking these. Now you guys could clearly see my excitement for this shoe, and I cannot wait. I had just been anticipating this for so long, but I want to see what you guys truly think about this shoe as well. Again, I've been collecting these and have multiple styles and different iterations and cuts over the years, so it makes sense why I have more and more hype and anticipation built up for this shoe every single time that I see the shoe drop. Now I obviously would vote fire if I had the chance, but I want to see what you guys think. So if you haven't already, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram so you can participate in the polls. I'll post them there, and then I share the results here on the channel. This is what the people said. 91% of the people chose fire and 9% of the people chose trash. That is a very, very high score. You guys know when we see anything in the 90 percentile, that means what? It's typically going to be on a lot of people's top 10 at the end of the year. And I know there's a lot of shiny object. This is the new hot thing right now, and I get that. But at the end of the year, those same results tend to typically translate when it comes to the top shoes and the releases that people love, appreciate, whatever they care about, whatever you want to use for the context for whatever the conversation is. So me personally, I'm adding these to my top 10 as of right now, and stay tuned because I have a top 10 pickups of 2025 releasing soon as well, which I cannot wait to show you guys because I've been having some solid pickups. I missed out on a couple things. We got samples and PEs. I feel like we shouldn't put that in a list because that might not be fair. I feel like we should just do like releases, and we'll do maybe a sample PE video separately. That might be a better idea. Originally I was gonna mix them all together, but I feel like it wouldn't be fair to do that. If you guys have suggestions on that video, let me know down below in the comment section. I'll see you guys in another one. I hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for more videos, and again, we are very close to 400,000 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button, bruh. I'm trying to do this giveaway. Stop playing. Hit the subscribe button.
I would never let you down. It's in my DNA. The only choice I like to make what I'ma wear today. I would never let you down. It's in my DNA. The only choice I like to make what I'ma wear today. I was made for it. It's in the DNA.